Good morning students, welcome to our next class. So up to our last class, by the last class we have completed our unit 1. So in unit 1 what all we have discussed, just I'll give a brief. So first we have studied what is the test of significance. That means to compare two procedures or whether to decide which procedure is better than the other, we use the test of significance, where we will be using some test statistics and find which procedure is better than the other one. And in this test of significance, there are different terminologies we have studied. So first is statistical hypothesis. So coming to hypothesis, it is a statement. Statistical hypothesis means the statements which are given about the population parameter are called the statistical hypothesis. So this statistical hypothesis is basically of two types, simple hypothesis and composite hypothesis. Simple hypothesis means whatever you are specifying, if the parameter value is specified completely, that is simple hypothesis. That means you will be having equal to's in the, to remember easily, you will be having equal to in the hypothesis. Composite hypothesis means it is not specified completely, just given it lies between some ranges. That is called composite hypothesis. So for the test of significance, we will be defining two types of hypothesis, that is null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. Null hypothesis means, null means empty. So whenever you are comparing two procedures, we say there is no difference between the two procedures. That is called as a null hypothesis. So we make an assumption and check for its possible rejection. That kind of hypothesis is called null hypothesis. Next, null hypothesis, it is denoted with H0. And coming to alternative hypothesis, it is written in an alternate to the null hypothesis. So this alternative hypothesis gives an idea about which types of tests we have to use, whether to use a one-tail or a two-tail test. So this alternative hypothesis is very important, and alternative hypothesis is denoted with H1. Next we have studied about the critical region and acceptance regions. The total sample space will be divided into two regions, acceptance and rejections region. So if your sample values falls in the rejection region, that is called as sample values are rejected, then that region is called as a rejection region. Then we have studied about the types of errors. So in the testing of significance, it is general to get the errors. That means we have basically two types of errors, that is type 1 error and type 2 error. So type 1 error means reject H0 when H0 is true. So when your null hypothesis is true but you are rejecting, that is called the type 1 error, and the probability of type 1 error is denoted with alpha. Next, type 2 error, accept H0 when H0 is false. Your H0 is false but you are accepting it, that is called as a type 2 error, and the probability of type 2 error is denoted with beta. So among the type 1 error and type 2 error, the type 2 error is more serious than the type 1 error. And next, level of significance. Level of significance, it is denoted with alpha. So generally, basically, level of significance means the amount of risk we are willing to take is called as the level of significance. So that is denoted with alpha. So generally, the level of significance we consider as 1%, 5% and 10%. That means that much amount of risk we are taking, and remaining amount we are confident about our decision. Next, power of test. So it is the ability of the alternative hypothesis when it is true. So to decide the ability of our alternative hypothesis, how much powerful it is, we use the power of test. Next, coming to the one-tail test and two-tail test. So one-tail test, you will be having two types, that is right tail and left tail. So if the rejection region lies on the right side of your distribution, that is towards the right tail, then it is a right tail, when we use the right tail test. So if the rejection wheel falls on the left tail of the distribution, we use the left tail test. Suppose if the rejection region is falling on the both the right tail and the left tail of your curve, then that is called as a two-tail test. Next we have studied about the test function. So test function, it is denoted with phi of x. So phi of, it is a probability of rejecting the H naught. So if phi of x value lies between 0 to 1, if phi of x equals to 1, we reject the H naught. If phi of x equals to 0, we accept the H naught. Suppose if phi of x equals to some particular value which lies between 0 to 1, then we reject H naught with that probability. Next we have studied about the randomized and non-randomized test. So randomized test, non-randomized test means the total sample space will be partitioned into two disjoint events, that is omega and omega dash, that is acceptance and rejection region. So based on that only the test statistic is given, the test function is given, that is pi of x takes the values 1 and 0. So it takes the value 1 if H naught is rejected, it takes the value 0 if H naught is accepted. Next, non-randomized test. So non-randomized test means the value will be pre-assigned, the level will be pre-assigned, and we will choose a test function such that the pre-assigned level is achieved. So next we have done some problems to find out the probability of type 1 error and type 2 error and power of test. So in this, the distribution will be specified or some unknown distribution will be given. Based on that, we will be finding the type 1 and type 2 errors. So we have to remember here, while finding type 1 error and type 2 error, what are the H naught value? Under H naught, what are the parameter values are given? Under H1, what are the parameter values are given? So all those you have to remember carefully and apply in that problems. Next we have studied NP lemma, that is Neyman-Pearson fundamental lemma, which is used to find the most powerful critical region. Omega, that is L1 by L0 greater than K, will be considered as the most powerful critical region. So we have find the most powerful critical region for binomial distribution, exponential, Poisson, and the normal distribution. So in normal distribution, we have find the test for the only testing mu equals to mu naught, only one parameter. And remember, in these distributions, binomial or Poisson, whatever the parameter is specified in the question, make sure you use that parameter only. If theta is given, use theta, lambda is given, use lambda. For binomial p is given, use p, or theta is given, use theta. So based on the procedure will be same, just the parameter value you have to replace. So this is all about our unit 1. This is all the basics for testing of significance. Now from unit 2 we will be studying what are the different types of tests and the different test statistics. So today we will start the unit 2. So in unit 2, the first concept is we are going to study about the last sample test. So we are going to study about the large sample test. So before that, what is a large sample we have to know? So the entire statistical theory for conducting the test of significance is based on the sample size only. So whatever the entire statistical test of significance we are doing, that is based on the sample size only. So based on that sample size only, we are going to perform our test of significance. So generally in practical situations, if your sample size is greater than or equals to 30, that is considered as the large sample test. So generally sample size we denote with small n, right? If your small n is greater than or equals to 30, that is considered as the large sample. Suppose if n value is less than 30, then it is called as the small sample. So based on the sample size only, we decide for the large sample test. If n value is less than 30, then we go for the small sample test. So first we will study about the large sample test. So in this large sample test, we are going to write the test statistic, right? So whatever the test statistics we are writing, that is related to the normal distribution. So this normal distribution plays a major role in the large samples. So role of normal distribution. So why we use this normal distribution for the large samples means we have already studied in the previous classes that for the large values of n, for the large values of n, so large values of n means it is a large sample, that is n. Generally for the large values of n, we have seen in the second sum also that different distribution tends to the normal distribution. For the larger values of n, the different distributions, that is binomial, Poisson, negative binomial, and the exponential. So all other distributions, the major number of distributions, all the distributions, the larger values of n for all these distribution tends to the normal distribution. Tends to the normal distribution. So since all the distributions, almost all the distributions tends to normal distribution, for the larger values of n, we use the so in this case, that's why we apply the normal distribution for the testing to test the hypothesis. So we apply the normal distribution of the normal test statistic for testing our hypothesis. So to test our null hypothesis, we use normal distribution because almost all the distribution tends to normal distribution for the larger values of n. So here we use the areas property of standard normal distribution to test the given hypothesis. So we know that if x follows normal with mu comma sigma square, then what is the standard normal variate? Z equals to x minus mu by sigma follows the normal distribution with 0, 1. So here x is a normal variate, z is a standard normal variate. So if you observe here, what is mu? Mu is the mean. What is sigma? Sigma is the standard deviation or standard error. So this can be written as z equals to x minus, this is mean, expectation of x, by, this is nothing but root over variance of x. Variance of x means variance is sigma square, root over variance means sigma. So this can be written as z equals to x minus expectation of x by standard error of x follows the normal distribution with mean 0 and variance 1. So that's why this is the test statistics we are going to use in our test of significance for the large sample test, that is z equals to x minus expectation of x by standard error of x. So whatever the statistic we consider, suppose if we consider some statistic t, then z equals to t minus expectation of t by standard error of t follows normal distribution with 0, 1. So this is for the random variable x. Suppose if we consider any statistic t, so then we consider the test statistic as this. So normal distribution plays the major role in the test of significance. So from areas properties we have some probabilities, right? 1 sigma values, 2 sigma values, 3 sigma values. Like that we have 3 sigma values, right? So from the normal table, what are the 3 sigma limits value? That is probability of -3 less than or equals to z less than or equals to 3 is equals to 0.998. So this is the 0.9973. So here these are the 3 sigma values that your value z value lies between -3 and +3. The probability is 0.99, that is 99.73% of value lie between -3 and +3. That is the concept of 3 sigma. So we expect that this is the standard normal value lies between -3 and +3. That is mod z value. Suppose if z value lies between -3 and +3, we accept this one only. But if mod z value is greater than 3, that means if this does not lies between -3 and +3, then H naught is rejected. So basically we assume that all the values lies between 3 sigma limits, that is the probability of -3 less than or equals to z less than or equals to 3 is 0.9973. If this is not, if the values doesn't lie between 3 sigma limits, then whatever the null hypothesis we took, that is H naught is rejected. Otherwise, if mod z value is less than or equals to 3, then we accept our null hypothesis, that is H naught. So this is a general normal distribution using the areas property. That is, if your z value, mod z value is greater than 3, then we reject our null hypothesis, and if mod z value less than or equals to 3, then we accept our null hypothesis. Now we will see the different critical values. Critical values means the table values. So always the calculated value will be compared with the table value. So before that, first I'll give the steps. What are the different steps involved in the large sample test? So to perform the large sample test, what are the different steps involved in that? First we'll write down those steps. Then I'll give you the table values. So copy everything from the videos itself. So now coming to the procedure for testing the hypothesis. So what are the different steps involved for testing the hypothesis? We'll see now. So in any testing of hypothesis, there will be the major involved steps are, the first one is defining the null hypothesis. So without hypothesis, we cannot go for the further steps, because that is the first major step. If we know our hypothesis, then only we can choose which type of test we want, what is the conclusion we are going to do. Without problem, there will be no solution, right? So what is actually we want to test, that should be specified, that is null hypothesis. So formulate the null hypothesis. First step is formulate null hypothesis. So this null hypothesis denoted with H naught. So this H naught should be which is suitable to the problem under study. So whatever the null hypothesis we are defining, that should be suitable to our study. So if whatever the problem we are dealing related to that only, we have to write the hypothesis. If we are studying about some students, we cannot write the hypothesis about parents, right? So like that, whatever it should be related to our study only. So formulate the null hypothesis H naught which is suitable to the problem under study. Next, second one is, I'll alternative hypothesis. So after writing the null hypothesis, we have to define the alternative hypothesis, that is formulating the meaningful alternative hypothesis. So this alternative hypothesis, it is denoted with H1. So alternative hypothesis is used to decide the type of the test. So we have to define the alternative hypothesis very carefully, because which helps to determine the type of test. That means based on this alternative hypothesis only, we are going to decide whether it is a one-tail test or a two-tail test. So we have to write a meaningful alternative hypothesis H1 against the null hypothesis. So if your null hypothesis is there, based on that only we should write the alternative hypothesis. Here we write there is no difference between two students. So here we have to write that there is a difference between two students. So based on that only, alternate to the null hypothesis only, we have to define our H1. Next, the third step is level of significance. Level of significance. So what is the level of significance? Level of significance means it is the amount of risk we are going to take. So we need to choose the appropriate level of significance. Choose appropriate level of significance. So what is suitable to that one only, we have to consider the level of significance depending on the permissible risk. So level of significance, it is denoted with alpha depending on the permissible risk. So level of significance means it is the amount of risk we are going to take, right? So based on that only we have to consider the level of significance. That is based on which type of test we are conducting, what is the population, what is the amount of risk is permissible. So for that test, 5%, so same 5% may not be suitable for all kind of tests. So depending on the type, which kind of data it is. If it is clinical related, we choose 1%. If it is any products and manufacturing, we can choose 5% also, 10% also, there is no problem. So what is the amount of the risk it is permitted, in that only we have to choose our level of significance, that is alpha. Next, fourth step, and one more thing, this level of significance is fixed in advance before drawing the sample. So before drawing the sample only, we have to choose and we have to fix our level of significance. So next step is test statistic. So we have to define our test statistic. Now how to compute the test statistic? We compute the test statistic as compute the test statistic. So test statistic, as I said, we use standard normal variate. So z equals to t minus expectation of t by standard error of t follows the normal distribution with 0, 1. So this is the generalized test statistics we use in testing of hypothesis, where t is any statistics. So if we are using proportions, we use proportion in place of t. If you are using the single mean, we use mean in place of t. So you will understand it when we start the last sample tests. So this is where t is the statistics. So here what is t? Where t is the statistic. which depends on the sample drawn from the population. So this T always depends on the sample from which the population is drawn. So depends on the population from which the sample is drawn. Now the next and the last step is comparison and conclusion. Comparison and conclusion. The most important step is the comparison and the conclusion. So in this we compare the value of Z in the step 4. So in the step 4 we got one Z value. So we compare value of Z in 4th step, which is called as the Z calculated value. So we have calculated that value, that's why we are denoting it as Z calculated with the table value, So this is the table value, that's why I am denoting it as ZTAB tab. So Z calculated indicates the value which we have calculated using the test statistic, and Z table value indicates the critical value or the table value. We have the standard normal distribution tables, right? From that we calculate the table values based on the level of significance. So this Z alpha, which is Z tab, we can also denote it as Z alpha. So we compare the Z calculated value with Z tab value at alpha % level of significance. Based on that level of significance only, we are going to make the decision. So what is the decision we are going to make is, so copy till here. So if mod Z calculated value, I am considering mod Z calculated, not just Z calculated. If mod Z calculated is less than or equals to Z tab value, which is called as the critical value also at alpha % level of significance. So if calculated value is less than or equals to table value at alpha % level of significance, then we accept H0. Then we accept our null hypothesis H0. So whatever the assumption we make, we accept it only if the calculated value is less than or equal to the table value. Otherwise, so what is the otherwise statement? That is mod Z calculated is greater than Z tab if calculated value is greater than table value at the same alpha % level of significance, then we reject the null hypothesis. H0. So these are the different 5 steps involved in the testing of the significance for the large sample test. So what is the first step? We have to predefine our null hypothesis which is suitable to the problem under our study. Alternative hypothesis, based on the alternate hypothesis only, which is alternate to null hypothesis, we have to write this alternative hypothesis, which helps us to determine whether it is a one-tail test or a two-tail test. Next, level of significance. This is a fixed predefined value which should be predefined, which should be fixed before drawing the sample itself, and we have to choose the alpha, that is level of significance, depending on the permissible risk only. Next, we have to define the test statistics. So for large samples, we consider the standard normal variate as a test statistic, that is Z equals to T minus expectation of T by standard error of T follows normal with 0, 1, where T is the statistic which depends on the population from which the sample is drawn. Next, comparison and conclusion. After calculating the Z value, This is called as Z calculated. We compare this calculated value with the table value, which is denoted as Z tab or the critical value. So if mod Z calculated is less than or equals to Z tab, we accept our null hypothesis. Otherwise, if mod Z calculated is greater than Z tab, we reject our null hypothesis. So here reject null hypothesis means accept alternative hypothesis, that is H1. So these are the different steps, and the next class I will give you the different table values based on the level of significance and based on the one tail, two tail test. There are the different table values. So that table values we'll discuss in our next class.